I woke this morning right downtown, and we found that we're docked in Norfolk, Virginia. We had sailed all night. The machinery you see there, that's the machinery that moves around the great gangways when all the big passenger liners come in. We're lucky they're not in. We've got space, and it's a really great spot. These are scenes from our ship this morning. There's a big, huge naval shipyard across the bay. There's lots of big, beautiful buildings. As you can see, it's a beautiful day. It's calm. There's a part of the museum down there. We're going to go to that in a little bit. You can see now we're at the museum. We're going to go check it out, and then we're going to go aboard the battleship. We all grouped outside of the museum, had to wait a few minutes, went on in, tried the front door of the museum, and it had a big sign on it that said closed, open in 6 months. But we were still able to go aboard the battleship.
And this is the battleship Wisconsin. It's a very important battleship because it's only one of 4 kinds of battleships like this.
Yes, this was the battleships were the biggest ships the Navy had during World War II. I think they're close to 1,000 feet long. They have huge firepower. Look at that anchor chain. One link weighs almost 200 pounds. Look at those guns. They can throw a 2,000-pound projectile almost 20 miles. Look at those decks. They're all covered in teak wood. There's probably $5 million worth of teak just on the decks. There's a beautiful sailboat. That's a schooner. I'd love to see it when it doesn't have the cover on. I love schooners. I had my own schooner, which I sailed around the world years ago. These are the buses. They're ready to take people on other trips. Here's our captain. He's making sure people get off the gangway safely. We're also going on a cruise. We're going to go on the harbor cruise. We've got probably about 25 people that want to do the harbor. Anyone that likes ships in the sea, you got to do this. Here comes a tugboat pushing a barge full of oil.
This is a really busy harbor. And in addition to having it be the home of the biggest naval base on the East Coast, there's a lot of other activity as well, commercial activity. So what's this one, Ernie?
Okay, that was an aircraft carrier. We're back across the bay now. This is more the tourist area of the harbor. If that's like a little charter boat, you can go for a sailboat trip when the wind is blowing. We're going by our ship. We're lucky the big passenger liners aren't in. There's the schooner, there's the battleship. Look at the beam on that ship. It's got to be at least 100 feet wide. Okay, NOAA has their headquarters here. They're the people that track the weather and the hurricanes and do the charts. Here's a tugboat pushing a barge full of oil. Here's some guys just out for an afternoon sail. Okay, we're heading north up to the big Navy base. These bright orange boats are red. Our government is purchasing these ships. They're trying to increase the size of our merchant marine, which needs increasing. This is all some of the Navy ships. Okay, we're getting up near the coal docks. Coal comes down out of the mountains hundreds of miles away. It comes down here by railway, and they've got big giant conveyor belts. They can load one of these ships probably in about 12 hours.
Almost everywhere we looked, there was a tug with a barge.
Right, barges everywhere. These are called oilers. Those big booms they have, the huge hoses hanging down. They can come alongside a ship at sea and refuel the ship.
This is one of my favorites. This is one of our submarines.
Right, that was a nuclear submarine, by the way. These are guided missile, they call them frigates. That's some of the most modern ships we have. Aircraft carriers. And the Coast Guard also has a dock up here. Here comes a container ship coming in to unload containers. They're going to go over to the place there where you saw all that big container handling equipment. And this is a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, one of the newest ones we have.
Then we get a close-up view of the container ship.
Okay, we're heading back. The captain wants to sail in early afternoon. Here comes a tugboat by. So he wants everybody back aboard the ship, probably about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We're tying up now.
One good thing is when we tied up, then we could just walk back to our ship and prepare to get back on so that we can take off again.
Okay, we are underway. We're going to be underway all night and arrive at our next port, St. Michael's, early in the morning. And guess what? It's early in the morning and we're tying up right in front of the Chesapeake Bay Maritime Museum. With our tour, we got a tour happening about 8 o'clock, and the first place the tour guide took us was up to the lighthouse, which is a great place to observe the whole place. They've got their own shipyard here. These are two 60-footers that they have restored. They take people out in the summertime. That's some of the neighborhood.
This turned out to be one of our favorite places to go on tour because, for one thing, our tour guides, as you could see, were very much enthusiastic about what they were telling us.
Yeah, he was just showing us how you could take a log and make a plank out of it, and that plank is going to be going in that big wood powerboat you just saw. This is the classic sailing yacht. The foremast is out. This is the wood shop. This is where they build the spars, they build small boats, they do a lot of the restoration. And they also have an apprenticeship program here for young men and women that would want to learn how to restore boats and build boats. They're building about a 16-foot rowboat here right now. And look at, they can bring their pets to work. How about that?
There was so much to see here. It was amazing. One thing was that they depend on the oyster industry.
Right. The oyster industry is controlled. They've had a rule for many, many, many years that if you're going to go out and try to get oysters, you have to tow your nets and your drags under sail. This is a 65-foot oyster, what they call a trawler. And this is how they get the oysters. They still are out there patrolling the bay. In the summertime, you can see them out there under sail, and these guys are working. They're not just playing. Marty and I cut the woodshop tour a little bit early. We wanted to go into the town of St. Michael's. We'd heard a lot about it. Really an easy walk, about a half mile. We went by a little boat yard. Remember, it's still winter time, so most of the boats are out of the water with full covers. Here's a really cool looking wooden bridge. Here's a really nice looking little kind of classic tour boat. Some of these homes look like they're fairly new. Okay, we're downtown. It's a really cute little town, real kind of a sleepy town. It's neat and clean. That looks like the longboat that the guys on the Bounty set Captain Bligh adrift on. It looks real old. And then as we walked back, we noticed they had their brand new museum building open. We went in it. Here's ship models, full-scale sailing boats. That's one of the famous log canoes that they still race on the bay. Then there's other sheds outside with lots more different designs, some motorboats, some launches, some sailing craft. Each boat had a little plaque on it, told you exactly what it was. Okay, our captain's tooting the horn. He's eager to get underway. Our next stop, it's going to be our last stop. We're going to Alexandria, Virginia, and that's where our cruise ends. Okay, we're underway. We're going to be underway all night.
It seems to be such a...
We're on the Potomac River, and look at all the beautiful homes on the edges of the bay there.
And some fishermen out there, too.
Right, look at this big fort. We're probably about 5 miles from Alexandria. I guess that was to keep the British away.
Some beautiful homes along the way. Some of these are absolute mansions. Look at that one. And this one.
Absolutely beautiful.
Marty, it's a sad day. This is our last day aboard the ship.
I know. Our last day has been so much fun.
It's been great, really. It's been so much more than we expected. Everybody's been so nice.
Yeah.
It's just a really fun trip.
Right, we've met some really nice people. The crew and the staff have been great. The places we went to visit have been unbelievable. What a difference to really be able to see something other than just read about it.
Wow, it's pretty fantastic. Yeah. Now we gotta pack. We gotta get a pile of stuff back into these little suitcases.
Okay, we're nearing Alexandria. We saw an area over there. It looked like a kind of a circus going on there. There's some government-looking buildings. We've got people in the observation room. They see a bridge up ahead.
And now we're going to go over to the left of the bridge so that we can find the exact spot of the bridge that we're supposed to go under.
Right, it's great the way these ships are designed. They've got all this room right up towards the front of the ship. Okay, we're going under the bridge. I hope we don't hear a big crash. Okay, we came out the other side and luckily no problem. These are some beautiful old buildings. We're going to be tying up here pretty quick. We're going into kind of this is kind of the tourist area of downtown.
Yes, it's Old Town for Alexandria, and it's Virginia. At one point, it was actually part of Washington, D.C., but then Virginia decided they wanted to take it back. So here we are on this expedition.
Right, we'd only been docked for about 2 hours when we went ashore, and we had another guide that was local here in the town, and he's going to take us and see a lot of these beautiful old houses and give us the history behind this place.
He was really big on telling us about where George Washington stayed, where George Washington's favorite pub was. He knew a lot of information about this area.
Okay, we hope you enjoyed our little videos, all 5 of them. We want to thank you for looking at them, and really, if you ever want to see the Intracoastal Waterway, American Cruise Lines does a great job of showing us around.